Hi, this weekend I watched Weapons, the new film written and directed by Zach Cregger. It's been very highly acclaimed. It's been a surprise smash hit at the box office, and in light of the success of his previous film, Barbarian, this was definitely going to be a film worth seeing. It's also one that benefits from being seen with very little advanced knowledge. So, what I can tell you is what's in the trailer, what's on the poster, which is that in a small town somewhere in America, one night at 2:17, 17 children got up out of their beds, walked out of their houses, and ran off into the night. All 17 children were from the same class, with only one child left behind. And in the aftermath that follows, both that child and the teacher are questioned by the police and the local community about what has happened, what compelled the children to do this, what's the secret, what's really going on. And the film unfolds telling the story of the aftermath of this town under siege from something it doesn't understand, um, of the many characters who are involved in the situation as we see each of their perspectives in a mosaic type um, uh, structure, which recalls Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, cited by Cregger as an inspiration. It also feels very much like The Shining. It has that sense of dread, of something very powerful and very evil, but totally undefinable, creeping away at the edges. And the epic scale of the story, encompassing the entire town, I think is brilliantly managed by Cregger. And it certainly fills up a piece with the epic scale of The Shining. I thought this was absolutely superb. It's, I think, the most original horror movie in some years in terms of its interest in developing characters, developing the environment, keeping back scares and horror moments so that you can spend time with the characters and with this environment and really becoming emotionally engaged in what's happening and then letting the horror take hold. It shows the mark of a real talent in storytelling and filmmaking, that he's not just going for simple shocks. And there are shocks in the movie. And I did at one point yell out, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" because it really caught me off guard at one point. Um, but it takes its time to tell a story that's worth telling and not just be a basic ghost train. And that in artistic integrity, I think, really marks this film out as something special. As well as that, it has ideas about how communities react to tragedy, how people react to tragedy. There's an underlying subtext which becomes quite clear as you watch, which I won't mention because it could but be argued as a spoiler about, but about human relationships. Um, it's a really interesting, cleverly structured, well performed, well made film. There are great performances across the board. Julia Garner as the teacher, um, Josh Brolin as the most vocally aggressive of the parents who've lost a child. Um, uh, Minor characters are nicely sketched out. Benedict Wong as the school principal has some nice little scenes where we see, oh, he's got a whole life going on off at the side. It's all really well thought out, even though Cregger, by his own admission, starts with an idea and then just starts writing and see where it goes. And will just throw in twists to keep himself off guard with his own writing and then resolves everything towards the end. The fact that the film resolves so well really is remarkable, and it really harks back to the work of Stephen King, where Stephen King just writes and hopes that it all comes together. And in my opinion, it rarely does, which is why I think a lot of the film adaptations of his work are superior, because people aren't just making them up as they go along, and why The Shining as a film works so much better than the book, because it feels like it's actually been planned. Um, but this is a really superb film. It's one of my favourite films of the year so far. Cregger, with only his second film, is marking himself out as a major talent, a remarkable piece of work. I thought it was absolutely terrific. I strongly recommend avoiding any and all spoilers you can. You just need to know the basic premise. It's on the poster. It's in the trailer. That's the selling point. Everything else, let it come to you as you watch the movie. It's very, very good.